What is the meaning of Animesh?
Our parliament, what 3, 4, 5 major laws they have passed which have brought about major social change?
Animesh, you are a student of sociology. Tell me two most burning social issues before the country.
What are the major social issues related with poor women in the state?
How Kalinga War changed the course of Indian thinking.
Please come in.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Please sit down.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Animesh Pradhan.
Yes, sir.
What is the meaning of Animesh?
So someone who doesn't close his or her eyes completely. So it refers somebody who is more alert and vigilant.
I see. Who doesn't sleep?
Or his almost does not sleep, always very attentive. So something.
You
on those
are
lines.
from Odisha.
Yes, sir.
Your district name is Angul.
Yes, sir.
There's one named Anguli Mal. Have you heard of it? Anguli Mal.
So it has a mythological connotation with Lord Buddha, who changed his perception towards Lord Buddha and emancipated from being devil to a pious entity. So
You said the mythological character. What is meant by that?
so it's a part of Buddhist folklore. So where
Is it a folklore or it's a real incident?
I'm not sure if it's documented in any of these Buddhist texts, but I have heard from a lot of stories and folklore, I would say. I'm not sure if it has been documented somewhere.
This district, Angul, is it also affected by Naxalism in Odisha?
No, sir. As in, some ramifications have been felt in past, but it does not cover the southern pockets, districts of Odisha.
Which are those districts?
Mostly the Kebik areas that we call in Odisha, comprising of Kalahandi, Balangir, Koraput, Rayagada, Nuapada. These are majorly affected by Naxalism.
What is the reason?
So there are a couple of reasons. The first being the tribal population is extremely high as there. So there has been a governance deficit, mainly post-independence and even prior to that. That's when Naxalism became very prevalent there. Second, the level of industrialization, if you'd see in those pockets, have been very low. So relative deprivation has been the root cause behind Naxalism in those pockets. And third, due to the rough terrain and the forest cover, agricultural productivity is also too low. So poverty was also an accentuating factor to increase Naxalism in those pockets.
Is government doing anything to look into those problems and to solve them? What you have just stated.
Yes, sir. Both with the central as well as state government's initiatives, the number of attacks and casualties in Odisha, in particular India in general, in left-wing extremism districts has come to a very satisfactory level. To a
But
very
what
low
has
level.
been done by government which has resulted in this?
So first, the developmental aspect. Earlier, when these Kebik areas were called as a hunger bowl of Odisha, now they're called the rice bowl of Odisha. This project Indravati that has come up in Balangir and Koraput district, that has increased agriculture productivity and give a livelihood opportunity for the people. Second, the rehabilitation program that both central government and state government runs, that has also brought a lot of youths to mainstream. And third, hockey has come up as hockey in particular and sports in general has come up a new source of revenue, especially in this southern and western pockets of Odisha, where we see a lot of youth who otherwise would have gone into the ambit of Naxalism are now coming to the mainstream livelihood and economy.
So these are bringing out positive results.
They certainly are.
Animesh, in 75 years of independence, there have been a lot of social changes in India. Say with our parliament, what 3, 4, 5 major laws they have passed which have brought about major social change in India?
I'll take a moment to
Sure.
recollect. So the first that I think the very prominent one is the 73rd and 74th Constitutional Amendment Act that has given truths to the grassroots democracy.
Okay, one.
The second, an extension to that, the PESA Act of 1996, which is on those
Okay,
similar
two.
lines as well. The Forest Conservation Act,
Okay, similar. Okay.
the
some other group of our population, large group?
so Prevention of Atrocities Act is also one that looks after the vulnerable section, especially the SC and ST.
Anything else
So
in the 50s?
so I can't recollect.
Something related to gender equality? Those 2-3 major.
Yes, sir. So one, the recent one where we have 33% of reservation
Okay.
for women. Apart from the Post Act is also one of the very momentous act which had come in for.
Anti-dowry,
Yes, sir. Yes. Anti-dowry and
Hindu marriage,
domestic
what
violence
is it?
act.
Sharda Acts and all kinds of things. Huh?
Yes,
You
sir.
should have it more on your absolute fingertips.
Yeah.
Now, do you think,
Yes.
is it a good idea that a democratic process, there should be legal interference of courts? As a general principle.
Sir, I think the interference should be as minimum as possible because separation of power is a core feature of our constitution as well. But judiciary has also the role to safeguard the laws that are being implemented. That they are on the lines of the
So,
constitutional
what is the
ideals.
ultimate role of the court? You are on the right track. What should it safeguard?
If the constitutional morality is something that has to be safeguarded, and if the laws
Morality or the letter of the constitution and law?
So I think constitutional evolution has come to a point that now we just do not see the procedure established by law, but beyond that as well, the courts have.
Well, morality is very subjective,
Yes, sir.
and two courts can give two totally diametrically opposite. Well, think more about it. Thanks.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Animesh, you are a student of sociology.
Yes, sir.
Tell me two most burning social issues before the country.
Sir, one being the regarding queer people after the same-sex marriage verdict came up.
Pardon?
The same-sex marriage verdict which came up in Supreme Court. So that was a social issue that was being cleared up. And as the second social issue that I can think about is the politicization of sports as well, where women leaders, like women sportsperson, have come up, where they have alleged a current seating MP as well. So that's a sociological aspect to it. How a social institute, like a
What is
political
your
institution-
opinion about same-sex marriage?
Sir, I think I totally agree with the Supreme Court verdict that although gender fluidity is a norm and society should be more progressive about it, but there are a lot of other legal implications towards it. So I personally would believe we could start up with a civil union kind of an association and then progressively forward to legalization of marriage in due course of time.
So you are for it, but in a gradual manner.
Yes, sir.
And you are into parliamentary debating also.
Yes, sir.
So don't you think that debates in our parliament, I think that has taken a beating, severe beating, and that is I think that is an issue which is causing concern.
They certainly have, sir. We have seen, even going by the figure, the quantitative data and the quality of the debates that we see also. Those have Watson, and I am pretty sure our parliamentary institution will become better in due course of time. But current status quo, there's a lot of room for improvement.
Why do you think it is happening? That sessions are like more and more number of sessions are adjourned these days. The moment parliament session is on, we just hear, okay, the session has been adjourned. Because it doesn't, help democracy.
It certainly, I totally agree, sir. Sir, I think there are a lot of changes that have to be done with the parliamentary proceedings that we have. Because a lot of these Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha laws have been borrowed from colonial policies. Even in British Parliament also, now they have reservation for particular days in a week or a month where opposition makes the timetable. So I think if you give more space for opposition so that they could make a timetable or a broad framework, what kind of topics should be talked about. So they would also feel that they have a more say in that table. So I think balancing how we want our parliament to work, giving voices to both the sides of the table will make it more equitable.
Have you come across the term direct democracy?
Yes, sir, I have.
What is that?
So direct democracy is the one where the voters or the electors, they themselves take the decision, which is especially famous in Switzerland, where it has different forms in terms of a referendum or a recall or plebiscite. And also we see direct democracy from Gram
Any,
Sabha.
any political party in India that passionately advocated direct democracy?
Sir, I'm not aware.
Your own is Delhi. Acha, okay. In sociology, I think the major chapter, the major I think subject is thinkers.
Yes,
You read about thinkers.
Yes, sir.
Who is your favorite thinker?
So from Western thinkers, R.K. Mutton, and from Indian thinkers, I like M.N. Srinivas's work, but more than that, I like Gail Lumbet and Nivedita Menon's ideologies as well.
Robert Merton.
Yeah, Robert Mutton.
What is his contribution?
So
Why do you like him?
So he's a neo-functionalist who has brought a lot of dynamism to the functional model of school of thought, and he has expanded how we see society not just as a dichotomy between conflict or functional model, but a middle path to it has given in terms of his theories about functional alternatives, about dysfunctions of any
Alternative.
particular.
What are those alternatives?
So what he feel that there's
You can be a little simpler while conveying his concept.
Yes. So, sir, he says that there's a lot of alternatives to other various institutions that we have. For example, other like earlier school of thought would consider family as.
What is the informal channel in bureaucracy?
I cannot recall right now, sir.
Robert Merton talked about that, informal channels in bureaucracy. You have case studies where I think going the formal way and going the informal with the informal ways also help the bureaucratic processes.
Yes, so that could be called as a dysfunction to the bureaucratic setup.
Yes, you tell me some famous temples or places or scientific bodies, national parks in Odisha state, Odisha now you call.
So Odisha in total, in general. Such famous temples would be Puri Jagannath Temple. We have Konark Temple, Lingaraj Temple at the Tri-City of Bhubaneswar, Konark and Puri. At the western part of the state, we have Huma Temple, Samaleshwari Temple, Ghanteshwari Temple, Khiro Gopinath Temple. Apart from that, the natural sites, we have two national parks, Bhitarkanika and Simlipal. My district has also a tiger reserve called Satakosia Gorge. Apart from that, we have a lot of 19 wildlife sanctuaries and 4 Ramsar sites, including Tampara Lake, Mahanadi Reserve, and Satakosa itself is also a famous wetland.
But you didn't mention about the institute which is doing research, a national body on rice, because the staple food of Odisha is rice.
Yes, sir.
So what is the name of that institute?
International Rice Research Institute in Cuttack, sir.
Cuttack.
Yes, sir.
So that I was actually expecting from you, because what are the major social issues related with poor women in the state, where government has not done much?
Sir, the labor force participation in, especially of the women in Odisha, has been suboptimal as compared to the national average. Secondly, we see there is a rise in crime against women as well, which is rising in Odisha. And third, I would say that a lot of regressive ideas, including dowry and domestic violence, is still prevalent.
I think in state Odisha, maximum people are living with below poverty line status. Because I have traveled almost whole, I was there in Bhubaneswar and then traveled Puri and all that. Most of the women, they are not having proper clothing and they are only eating simple rice. So what are your observations? Is it true or?
So it isn't, as in, I agree that couple of years back or a decade back, this could have been a norm. But if you see in past couple of years, there has been a transformation in the developmental canvas of Odisha. And about what the people eat and dress, that in terms of lifestyle and consumption pattern also, there has been a lot of development. And even in terms of poverty, the multidimensional poverty says that there is 16% of people in Odisha is poor, which is more or less similar to national average. So on human development indexes also, even though we are lacking, but we have seen a significant progress in from NFH's.
Why Chilka Lake is famous and where it is situated? Near which city?
So Chilka Lake is near Puri city, and it's an estuary on the Mahanadi Delta. It's famous because it's one of the Ramsar sites and was the largest brackish water estuary in Asia.
Again, you are saying Ramsar site. What are Ramsar site? The term has come from which country?
So Ramsar is a place in Iran.
Iran. Yes, good. So,
ठीक है. Animesh,
Yes, sir.
you mentioned somewhere in your draft Kalinga. You studied in Kalinga?
So my the place that I come from is a local area. It's called Kalinga area. But Odisha is also has a distinct way of being called Kalinga during Ashokan time.
Yes. How Kalinga war changed the course of Indian thinking? Say something about Kalinga war and the events that followed.
So Kalinga war was fought around 261 BC, where Ashoka, in pursuit of expanding his kingdom, came and defeated the kings here at Kalinga. But after that became a movement of emancipation for Ashoka himself, where he adopted Buddhism, and then the
Enlightenment.
Not emancipation. Yes, sir. So Buddhism kind of spread because of patronage that Ashoka
He became
gave.
a Buddhist. Why did he become a Buddhist?
So because he, as the folklore states and also as the archaeologists document is that after so many people were killed in that war, he kind of got the feeling about how it is futile to be in war and how peace should be the long court's term for a king.
And what are the important things that followed? How India grew after that? India's influence?
Sir, during Ashokan times, after that, through Buddhism, our trade links also been increased towards Southeast Asia, Sri Lanka, and other areas as well.
Yes. Then tell me, there's a scheme which I read when being implemented in Odisha that you clean water, you can drink from any tap in the city. Clean water, is it there?
Yes, sir. It's drink water from direct taps. I'm not sure about the exact.
It's a Government of India scheme. I think one city has implemented.
So the Puri has been in the Jal Jeevan mission as well. The Puri has fared really well, where it has 100% coverage.
Have you been to Puri recently?
Not recently, sir.
When did you go to Puri?
So it's been more than 8 years.
8 years. Okay. So then you don't have a practical experience.
I don't. Sir.
But local newspaper, what do they say? You can drink from anywhere? Well, that's quite a big achievement. You can drink water from anywhere.
So Puri has been doing well, but what I hear from my relatives and friends over there that there's still a lot of improvement that could be there for its operationalization yet.
Acha. Okay. You mentioned hockey. Why your chief minister adopted hockey? Why not any other sport?
Sir, I agree that hockey has been at the spotlight for quite some time, but the reason behind is that there has been a hockey culture in Odisha. For example, we had players like Dilip Tirki and currently also Deep Grace Tirki. A lot of players have come up from Odisha.
Okay. Now tell me, Odisha, the chief minister has been in position for how many years?
So more than 20 years.
Such a strong, stable government. Still, Odisha lacks among states, it's quite way down in GDP, per capita income, and it has such great natural resources. Why?
So there are a couple of reasons to that. Is Odisha has been not very favorable in terms of geography. Cyclones have been a year-to-year thing that has hit Odisha in recent past as well. The second, tribal population is around 22%, and a couple of that Naxalism was of imminent danger in Odisha for a lot of years. And fourthly, I would agree there was a governance deficit for quite some time, but now I think Odisha has fared really well in terms of both its GDP as well as socioeconomic factors.
It's quite way down, 14th, 15th amongst the states.
So, but if you see the percentage of...
But you got such huge natural resources anyway. Okay.
We do, sir. I think we have mainly focused on the secondary sector of economy. Now we're diversifying to the tertiary sector as well. And at the downstream sector of mining is also being concentrated upon so that value addition could be immense.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you, Animesh. Please wait outside, we'll call you back.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.